Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Lily, aka Lillian Guerrero, aka Made by Rocka Lily. Thank you so much for being here with me today. In today's video, I am going to work on a design team project, and I am going to show you how to alter a hardcover book and turn it into a beautiful junk journal. I'm going to show you all the steps, and that includes taking out some of the pages, gluing the pages, and then decorating the pages with Ibette's Tu Casa De Papel's beautiful digital printables. I have a super special discount code for you guys. I'm going to list it right here for a limited time. From now until October 15th, you will be able to use Lily30 discount code to save 30% off of Ibette's beautiful digital printables. So that discount code Lily30 only until October 15th. So take advantage of that and save yourself 30% off of all of her digital printables. They are so gorgeous. All of that information will be linked down below, the link to her Etsy shop, and then the discount code information again down below. So yes, you guys have asked for how I alter hardcover books, and so are you ready to get started? Do you have a book that you are going to alter? Go grab it and let's work on this together. You guys are awesome, so let's get started.
I will begin by showing you the items or the ingredients that I will be working with to create the altered book. Now, you guys, I went to the Dollar Tree and I picked up an inexpensive hardcover book. They seldom have them now, but when they do, I will grab it, especially if the hardcover is in a favorite color, a color that I know I can work with. And because I am working on a Christmas altered journal, the red was absolutely perfect. It is 9x6 and it is a size that I enjoy working with, and it has a 1-inch spine. So not all books are made the same. So I know what to look for in size and in also the spine. So keep an eye out for inexpensive hardcover books. And if not at Dollar Tree, you can always pick them up at thrift stores as well. These are the digitals that I will be using with my altered book, and it is from the Tu Casa De Papel digital printables, and it is the Feliz Navidad journal pages kit and also Feliz Navidad ephemera kit. Remember, I will have that information in the description area below, so you can go and take a look at Ibette's Tu Casa De Papel's Etsy shop. So many beautiful digitals to choose from. But I chose specifically the Feliz Navidad, the Christmas digitals, because this is going to be my Christmas junk journal. And I've made others before by repurposing packaging and also putting together a cover from chipboard. But I have to tell you, my favorite is altering a book. I've realized this. It took me a while to accept the fact that I like the altered book journal for my Christmas journaling. But I do love the junky ones for all my other kind of journaling. But for Christmas, this is what I tend to go for, or what I will go for. So let me show you a couple of my Christmas journals from Christmas pasts. And this one is from Christmas 2021, and then this other one is from Christmas 2020. 2020? Yes, because guess what? I still haven't finished my Christmas journal from 2022. I know. Maybe I'll finish it before the end of the year. And look at these alligator mouth. Now, these are about the same size, 9x6 with that 1-inch spine. If I can find one that has a spine that is over 1 inch, then I'm winning. But I don't want it to be any smaller than 1 inch. And these are chunky babies. And I'm going to show you the exact same process with today's journal as I worked with these. The exact same thing. It is what I do. And again, another red. I've been so lucky to find red ones. But like I said, they're not always at the Dollar Tree, but when I come across a red hardcover, I will grab it. So Some of you may be opposed to altering a book, especially a brand new book. I'm okay with it, you guys. I'm okay with it. I actually have some Reader's Digest books that I'd really like to alter, but I haven't come around to breaking into those. If you want to see the flip through to the other Christmas junk journals, I will have the link to those videos down below. It is such a beautiful book. And so the first thing I am going to do is go through some of the pages, kind of take a look to see what I'm working with. And so I had it upside down. I'm going to leave the first few pages intact. I'm not going to tear those out because if I tear some of those first pages out, it's going to weaken the core of the spine, you know, where they're attached and glued. And so I'm going to keep a few of those. And now, once I get to the pages that I want to tear out, I set the first page aside. So I clipped it. You could see there with my clothespin. And now I am going to remove 6 pages. So I set one page aside and I clip it onto the left-hand side. And then I'm going to tear out the next 6 pages. And you can use a utility knife to kind of score it and cut your pages out. But these are pretty easy to tear out, as you can see. And so I am going to count 6 pages and move those. And notice how I added another clip on the right hand side. That's on the 7th page. And the reason I do this is so that I don't get carried away and tear out more pages than I need to tear out. So now I remove the 2 clips, and those are the 2 pages that I am going to glue together. I'm going to grab a paper clip and I'm just going to clip them together because I'm not ready to glue. I am going to go through this process through the entire book. So set this one aside, that page, and then clip it to the left. And now I am going to tear 6 pages. And when I get to the 7th page, I'm going to mark it with my clip so that I don't go beyond and past it. Believe me, this is so helpful. We need to use markers like these clips. You can use any other type of clip, paper clip, clothespin. Use a marker so that you know exactly what pages you are going to tear out, because believe me, I've worked on these for years. You will tear out more pages than you need to. So the markers or the pins or the clips really help keeping you in line so that you don't take out too many. So see, now I take the one on the left and the one on the right, which is page number 1 and then page number 7, and I'm going to grab a paper clip and clip it together. And then hold it down with my clothespin on the left-hand side. There's page number 1, again, holding it down on the left-hand side. I will count 6 other pages and then clip or use my clothespin marker on page number 7. And so that is what I'm going to do. Now I'm getting close to, well, this is now the end of the book. It took about 15 minutes for me to do this, you guys. So when I get to the end, I realized that I only had about 3 pages left that I wanted to tear out because I'm leaving another 3 pages at the end. So I don't want to cut out the pages to the very end. So in a situation like this, I'm only going to tear out 1 page because I don't have that many pages left over to work with. And that's okay. I still have the 2. And I'm going to clip those together and then I'm going to glue them together. Do you see how I have those extra 2-3 pages at the very end? Because I want to keep that binding together. If you take those out, it's going to loosen the pages. And the same thing when you tear out your pages, you don't want to go to the core of the spine because you will loosen that binding. And that's why we just kind of carefully tear it out and leave a little bit of bulk there on that left-hand side of the spine. It kind of keeps everything together. So now the next step is I am going to glue all of these pages together. And this is why it's so important to use a paper clip to keep your 2 pages together, because I have also glued the wrong pages together. And so this helps me stay on track, you guys, so I know exactly what pages I'm going to use. Now, the type of adhesive that I like to use to glue my pages together is the Fabri-Tac. This is an alcohol-based glue, and it will not warp the papers. The book pages are very thin, and if you use a white glue, sometimes those have a lot of water and they will warp your pages. And so to avoid that, I prefer to use the Fabri-Tac, and it dries really quick. And it's just, you use whatever glue you want to use, but let me tell you that the Fabri-Tac works best, in my opinion. And so that is what I recommend. And I'm going to go do the same thing. I'm going to go through the entire book and glue those pages together. And this process also took me about 15 minutes. I do want to give credit to Gail Agostinelli, because years and years ago when I first started altering books, her video is the one that I watched that helped me and inspired me to alter books and make junk journals out of them. She has a great video, and so if you hop on over to her channel and you search within her channel altering books, you can see her method as well. But that's where my inspiration came from. And of course, I've seen so many others. And then you kind of develop your own technique and you create your own style in altering. So I hope this is helpful for you, and that you take my little tips to heart, because they really, really will help you from, creating a disaster as I did in the very beginning. I grabbed the glue stick to show you that you can use glue stick to glue the 2 pages together. The only thing is it doesn't give you any wiggle room. And because we are putting 2 pages together, and then if you noticed, when I place them together, I kind of run them up, rub my hands up. And with the Fabri-Tac, it gives you a little bit more wiggle room or wiggle time to make sure those pages are lined up properly. And you don't have as much wiggle room with the glue stick. So, if that is what you have, then you can use it. You just have to make sure that you line up your pages very carefully, or they will dry too fast and then your pages will buckle. And so this is the reason why I recommend using the Fabri-Tac. You just have to kind of work with it. So I'm just doing this to show you for demonstration purposes only, but I will continue to use the Fabri-Tac. And I'm now at the end. Again, it took about 15 minutes. So 15 minutes to tear out the pages and about 15 minutes to glue all of my pages together. And you're gluing the correct pages together because they have all of the torn edges like right in the center, but we're hiding that by gluing the 2 pages together. You won't be able to see where you tore out those excess book pages. And see how I'm smoothing it in an upward manner with my hands, and that's to line up the pages. And then I just open it flat, and then I smooth out the pages to make sure that they're flat and flush and all even. And that was it. There's really nothing to it. Take your time. See, that I think is the one that I glued with the glue stick, and it kind of buckled a little bit. And that is the reason why I don't use glue stick, you guys, because it will buckle. So maybe you can use a water-based glue that doesn't have as much moisture in it, as much water. That's also another option. But the Fabri-Tac alcohol-based glue is fantastic. So you could see that little bulk there on the left-hand side. That is what is keeping all of your pages together. If you cut down to the core, it's just going to come loose and it's going to weaken your spine. So now we will continue. The next step is to add our decorative pages over the print. And I'm going to leave some of the blank pages in the beginning just as they are, blank. I'm only going to cover the area that has text. And so I'm measuring to make sure that when I cut down my digital papers, that I cut them down to the correct size to cover the text. And for my book, the text is about 4.5 inches wide, and then about 8.5 inches in length. So I'm actually only going to have to make one cut so that I fit the digital paper perfect over the text. And so these are the digitals again, and I'm going to use my paper trimmer and cut them all down to size. So you can see this paper is 8.5 by 11, and I'm cutting it to about 4.5 inches wide, but the length is going to stay the same, which is 8.5. So make sure, if you want to, cut a larger piece of paper, you can do so, but I'm going to leave a little border all around each page. So I only need to cover up, or I only need to cut down the paper enough to cover the text, and I want to leave that border all around each of the pages. And it looks like it's about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch border. And I like that look. I've done it with all of my other Christmas junk journals, and I like the way that looks. I'm going to go through all of my pages, and I'm going to cut them down all to the same size, the 4.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to, I'm not going to show you how I cut each and every page, because I did, and you saw as I was flipping through the digital pages, I had multiples of some of them. And because I am using a lot of the same pages throughout the book, and I'm okay with that. These are beautiful, beautiful printables. And the nice thing about working with digital printables versus like buying a paper pad is that you can use that digital printable over and over and over again without the fear of running out, for example, if you had a paper pad. And so there are some of these that I printed 2 or 3 times because I knew I would use them repeatedly throughout the book. If I had a paper pad, sometimes you only get 1 or 2 of the same, of a print. And what if you love it? Then you have to go buy a whole new paper pad. You guys, I love scrapbooking paper. I've got tons of scrapbooking paper, and I've got tons of paper pads. But I also love my digital printables because I can just print them up over and over again. So here they are, all cut down to size. And now the fun begins. And I'm going to glue them all down. I don't put too much thought into them. I love each and every image and design on these printables. But I did want to use this one towards the front because it is a Christmas journal. And so I want to make sure that it is obvious that this is the type of journal that I am creating. But all of the others I'm just going to be randomly selecting and placing down. Now I start off with glue stick to glue my pages down. And then I remembered that I didn't want to use the glue stick. And so I will switch over to the Fabri-Tac again. And for the same reason, there's not a lot of wiggle room. The glue stick is great to work with. And this particular brand, the Scotch Purple Stick, it is so strong. But if you put your digital down and it's wonky, you can't remove it. It's stuck. And so it's going to be wonky and lopsided. And so save yourself some grief and use Fabri-Tac. Art glitter glue is also a great glue to use. So if you don't have the Fabri-Tac to use, I recommend the art glitter glue. And I used that one for a couple of years, and I haven't repurchased it because I'm trying to go through the Mod Podge that I have. Remember that 64-ounce bottle of Mod Podge that I have? Yeah, I'm trying to go through that. So that's my daily glue, but it is really watery, and so I don't recommend it for your altered book. But art glitter glue, that one works really, really well, you guys. So I recommend that one or the Fabri-Tac. Don't use a glue stick, because there were some pages in my other junk journals that when I went to go glue the paper down, it wasn't even, and it bugged me a little bit. So yeah, it took me a few pages before I realized that I needed to use the Fabri-Tac. So notice how I have the blank page there on the left-hand side. I'm leaving it as it is because that will turn out to be a great area for journaling or adding other types of elements to those pages. So this is, I don't know if I mentioned at the very beginning that this is part 1 video. And this is to show you how I alter a book and make a Christmas journal or a regular junk journal. So you can apply this method to any type of season. And you can just take any hardcover book and use the same method, the same process to create an altered junk journal, altered book junk journal. So this is where I'm like, okay, it's time to use the Fabri-Tac, because there were a few pages within, this video where I glued it upside down. And I'm so glad that I glued it upside down after I started using the Fabri-Tac, because had that happened with the glue stick, I would have just had to place a different paper over it because I wouldn't have been able to remove it. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so this is part 1 video, and I've had so many requests to show you my process for altering a book. And so I hope that those of you that have requested this video are here watching it and are enjoying it. It's a pretty easy process. And it does not take a long time to do. I think that what will keep you kind of busy if you are using the digital printables is to print them out, and also the time to cut them. I think that took a little bit longer than actually taking out the pages and gluing the pages together. So in the part 2 video, I will do a flip through of this completed junk journal. And oh, it is going to be so beautiful. In fact, I'm thinking to make a few of these. So don't be surprised if you see, 2 or 3 of these in the future. But for the sake of this video, I'm doing part 1 to show you my process, and then part 2 I will do the flip through of this specific journal. But I really do enjoy working with these. I mean, the cover is already there. You don't have to put it together. I love to use packaging to make a journal cover. I don't mind doing that at all. But I love working with the altered books. So it depends on my mood, It depends on how I'm feeling. So I hope you enjoy this. And if you have any questions, please leave me your questions in the comments below. I did do a lot of editing. I edited out a lot of the time it took me to glue all of these pages down, and also to tear out. So, and I'm trying not to cut out too much so that it doesn't make, I want it to make sense to you. And so I hope I'm making sense, you guys. But if you have any questions, leave me your question or your comments in the section below. Now, I am going to cover and line the inside of the book, the front left-hand side and then the back right-hand side. So I am measuring the front cover so I can cut my paper down to size. And I believe I cut it down to 5 inches. So it's going to be about 5 inches wide. And again, the length 8.5 is perfect. And I'm using the same digital printable for the front and the back. And this beautiful poinsettia design is perfect for the inside. It just says, it's Christmas time. We're still a few months away, but you know, we've been creating for Christmas and making since July, right? Yeah, I've been all over the place and making Christmas and fall, and then other projects as well that are just, you know, non-seasonal. They're just all year long. But I love making during, or I love making for Christmas. It is so much fun, so festive and so bright. It's such a beautiful season. And then this is a really handy tool. Some of the glue sometimes will seep out, but working with the alcohol glue, the Fabri-Tac, it gets kind of gummy, and so it's easy to remove. But if you have this gum eraser or this glue eraser, just go gentle when you go over your digitals or your printed papers so that you don't remove any of the print. But it works great for removing any dried up excess glue. And I've had that one for a long time, like 15 years from Stampin' Up. It lasts a really long time. And I have seen them at Dollar Tree as well. So isn't that beautiful the way that looks? And it just looks so good with that red cover. And I'm almost done with gluing all of the pages down, but I wanted to make sure that I add the lining to the inside of the covers. And now I am going through some of the pages and adding some of the final digital printables to some of the blank page, not the blank pages, but this one, for example, had a little bit of print on it. And so I wanted to add this beautiful digital. And I'm just going to thumb through it really quick to make sure I didn't miss any. And then I'm going to do a quick flip through from beginning to end to show you what it looks like now that it's all together. How fun was that? And it wasn't too bad, was it? You tear out your pages, you glue your pages, and then you add your digital printables. It looks so clean still right now, but we know it's going to be alligator mouth. It's going to be chunky and it's going to be beautiful. Look at how gorgeous that looks. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to love this journal so much. So I hope you have enjoyed this. And I'm going to thumb through the pages from beginning to end and show you what it looks like now that it has all been put together. The fun is going to take place in part 2 video where I start adding all of the embellishments. I will add tabs. I will add pom-pom trim, other beautiful trims, pockets and tucks and tags and journaling cards. And then I'm also going to do the front cover of it. I will be creating a topper for the junk journal. But look at how beautiful these pages are, and lots of room for journaling and also for adding photographs and all of the wonderful things that you do during the holiday season. Remember, these are background pages, so don't be afraid to, layer even more things on top of these. But great for journaling. You can journal right over these, and they're just going to be so great. Oh, I'm so excited to work on this. Again, this is a design team project for this month. And with Tu Casa De Papel, don't forget to go over and visit her Etsy shop. I will have a discount code link for you right here and also in the description area below. I hope that you enjoyed this. But don't go away because I'm also going to flip the camera over and say goodbye to you before we end the video. So I appreciate you all being here. Let me know what you think down below and if you will be working on one of these altered books. Let me know if what you thought about the process. Was it too complicated? Is it doable? I want to know what you think about altering a book. Whether you agree with altering a book or not, let me know in the comments section below. I'm up for it. I'm up for it, you guys. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. And so I started out with this image and I ended the book with this image, and it's just, oh my gosh, these digitals are so beautiful. Isn't that great? Look at it. But it's going to be an alligator mouth. Just wait and see. And then that beautiful topper will be right on top. It's going to be gorgeous. I hope you guys subscribe so that you can take a look at part 2 of the video. So don't go away. I'm going to flip the camera over and say goodbye to you, all right?
You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you enjoyed the process of altering a book and then decorating the pages with beautiful, beautiful digital printables. I love how this turned out. Remember that this is part 1 video. The next video, I will do a flip through of the completed junk journal. It will show you the topper and then, of course, all of the embellishments. And for that, I am going to use the Feliz Navidad ephemera kit pages. So don't forget, I have Lily30 discount code for you, save 30%, and Ibette's Tu Casa De Papel's link to her Etsy shop will be down below. If you guys have any questions whatsoever about what I showed you or what I said, please leave me a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I appreciate you being here. If this is your first time watching my video, thank you for taking the time, and I appreciate everyone for supporting my channel. And you guys, how about we try to reach 15,000 before the end of the year? Let's make it 20. We've got 3 months, you guys. 3 months to try to get to 20,000 subscribers before the end of the year. And with your help, I got to 10,000, and I know that you can help me get to 20,000. Let's continue to grow, and let's continue to share my videos with YouTube world. And the way that we do that is by liking, subscribing, commenting, but more than anything, sharing my video with your family and friends. That is what helps expand and grow my channel. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you part 2. All right? Take care. Bye.